Welcome to Preparing for the Unexpected. I'm your host, Alex Fullick, and as always, we like to talk about things related to resilience, business continuity, crisis management, anything that helps you, your organization, or your community prepare for, respond to, and overcome adverse situations. If you'd like to be a guest on the show, please feel free. You can find me on LinkedIn. I'm the only Alex Fullick there. I'm really easy to find, and I do respond to everything I get. Today, I have a returning guest, and we're going to talk about their new book. And the book is titled Business Continuity Management, Significant Insights from Practice. And he is the co-author. I'd like to welcome back to the show, Kush Srivastava. Kush, welcome back.
Thank you. Thank you for such a warm welcome. And it's always a pleasure to be on your show.
Well, wonderful. It's been a while since the last time you were on, so can you take a moment and tell us a little bit about yourself, and then maybe give us a little bit of an introduction to your book as well?
Okay, fine. So let me just I'll cover it in two parts. The first one is about me. The second one is regarding the purpose of the book. So I'm a seasoned professional covering the domains of business continuity, crisis management, risk management, IT, disaster recovery, and media planning. Extensive experience in these domains. I have won many regional and international awards in these domains. As a 3 times winner for BCI Award, I was inducted in the BCI Hall of Fame in 2019. I have been an awardee by UAE federal government by the by the BCM regulator, NCMA, for my contributions to the UAE BCM standard, which is the NCMA 7000. Okay. I have extensive hands-on experience in developing the governance framework, the operational modeling, and the BCM documentation for organizations across industries. I have developed end-to-end BCM documentation training and have trained professionals across the hierarchy, which includes your senior management, board members, PC champions, and the general staff. And in the domains of business continuity, risk, and crisis, have run specific customized role play exercises, role plays, simulations for these across these categories of my audience. I possess extensive experience in training across the management hierarchies, across different industries, across different geographies. I'm based out of Dubai, but I train across the Middle East and wherever the customer requires me. I have helped organizations in enhancing their resilience for being crisis ready and helping them get their ISO certifications. Okay, this certifications relate to the 31,000, which is the risk management, 22301, which is your business continuity, 22361, which is the crisis management. So that's the gist about my experience and profile. Let me just cover in terms of my purpose of writing the book and sharing. So the purpose of writing this book was to share my experiential knowledge and extensive hands-on operational experience with other corporate citizens in Middle East and other places. My endeavor was to share insights from analysis of different standards which relate to crisis management, business continuity, risk management, IT disaster recovery, media planning. And that is primarily to guide the company boards and senior management to know what it takes to build organization resilience rather than an organization having it on paper and being a paper tiger. And my other objective was that the book has relevance lays down relevance to organization culture, ability of organization to use technology effectively, and also since technology is the biggest enabler, how to use it effectively during crisis. Okay, there is a full chapter on the peacetime initiatives for senior management, what they should be doing when things are normal or business as usual, to be prepared for the ultimate crisis, or for a proper recovery and response during a crisis. And the one of the other important thing which the book talks about is the relevance and importance of training, exercising, and role clarity among staff, the importance of information flow during crisis, so that the right communication happens at the right time for the senior management to take the right decision. Okay, so that is all about the thing. Each chapter has been at the end had has points on key learnings and key takeaways, which will help them, that even if you glance through the book, glance through the chapters, you'll still be able to get the gist of the what the chapter has. So that's about me and the purpose of the book.
Well, great. I'm looking forward to my copy arriving, as I
Mm,
say, before we started recording. Mine is
mm.
on order. It just hasn't arrived yet, but
Okay.
I'm looking
Mm,
forward to getting the whole book. And I don't want to
mm,
go any further without recognizing your co-author,
mm,
Wada Ghanem Al-Hashmi. I hope I
mm.
said the name correctly,
Yes,
but a
yes, yes.
shout out to their
Mm.
participation with this as well.
Okay. Dr. Vada is a senior director with Emirates National Oil. He was my colleague and my manager in when I was working with Emirates National Oil about 4 years back now. Okay. So, and he is a he holds double doctorate, and he is a very well respected EHS and seeing sustainability professional in this region, and has won many awards, and he's a member of most of the premier institutes in terms of board of directors institute, and there are some institutions in UK where he's part of the board and part of the senior management team.
Well, congratulations to both of you in the book. Now,
Thank you.
why don't we jump right into some of this stuff?
Mhm,
In chapter
mhm,
one, you start out with a bang.
mhm,
Where do leaders falter in implementing BCM? So,
mhm.
from your experience, where do they falter?
Okay, let me just give you a gist of the chapter. The chapter is about it separates the wheat from the chaff. Okay, where it talks about the need for the board and senior management to proactively deliberate and plan for contingencies, and have specific strategies to guide the organization in times of crisis and emergencies. So that's the gist of the idea. The other important aspect is it proactively emphasizes on the mind share practices that board and senior management should have while deciding in respect of the priorities during outage and crisis. So that means that I'm talking about pre-planning. I'm talking about anticipating the downside, and then this also lists down 11 key reasons. Okay, 11 key reasons which, if not addressed on a timely basis, will offset the response and recovery efforts for the organization, and it can impact the continuity of what is critical to the organization. So although it may have although an organization may have the best of the people, use the best of the technology, okay, if it does not have the key indicators, what I have these are the 11 indicators I'm saying, there are larger chances of having disruption from crisis and during crisis and emergency. Most importantly, these factors, what I have listed, are time tested, okay, for meeting the intended objectives of the organization. So whether you call it the mission, vision, and values, these are all aligned for to the documented policies, procedures, protocols, and this thing methods to be followed, protocols to be followed during crisis. So that's the other thing. And it is uh, these are also indicator. I have also indicators, the time eaters. Okay, time eaters are basically factors that take away the management time. So it's a simple 80-20-70-30 principle where you spend 80% of time and resolve 20% of issues. Okay, so that 80-20 principle I'm saying. So that is the thing where I'm talking about the senior management limited time are identified so that the senior management and board can do justice to the and let them focus on the critical aspects of performance or growth or improving the market share and reputation of the company. So that's the idea behind this chapter.
Can you give us maybe one of your 11? Because I want people to buy your book and have a look at it. Can you give us one example of the 11?
Okay, one sec. Let me just okay, take an example, governance and which may be unmonitored or ill monitored. So for a program which has been implemented, investments have been made, but if there is no monitoring of the program performance of the program, it could lead to it. Then another important factor is the culture as an impediment. So if a culture of adopting new things and culture of following or moving in the same direction as the organization MVV, mission, vision, and values, it could lead to a different. It could lead to the hamper in management style in implementing. See, weak proliferation of the business continuity management. So that is another factor. Budgets is another factor. You see, there is another important factor which may impede is the weak and inexperienced business continuity manager
Mm.
who is unable to lead or unable to guide the business unit, because you see business continuity crisis management, they are a very evolving concepts. Today, with the concept of with the advancement in technology, thing changes. Tools that you 3 years back, you did not have such a you had tools which were basic. Today, I have tools for business continuity crisis management which are AI backed. They are have they have you have documentation that can be created by Chat GPT and AI within no time. So those are aspects which while technology will help you, but at the same point of time, the human factor of driving these concepts of it will have to be adopted, and will have to be the organization has to be matured enough to be able to appreciate of utilizing these concepts and ideas in a effective manner.
Yeah, that's a key point that you just made there, that sometimes people look at tools as the
Mm.
answer to everything, but the secret is really the people and
Correct.
what they know and how the culture that they're surrounded by. They could know a lot and be very well, and do very well at their role, but the culture isn't there, so they don't get to flourish and really get their message across. And it works both ways, from leadership to employee, employee to leadership. So it's a really good
Correct.
point.
Absolutely. Mm.
So let's go to chapter 2. And you mentioned that there's a few best practices we should all do to ensure success in our business continuity management programs. Can you talk about that chapter?
Okay, this chapter is basically talking about the importance of the organization success in implementing BCM. Okay. And what I mean here is that I am using the concept of that history is the best teacher for you, for the society. So whether it be organization, whether it be community, whether it be society, you can learn from history. So what I am talking about is from the historical aspect of historical factors that are internal and external to the company. Okay, how you can use these factors as a learning point, learning for your to engage for if effective implementation of business continuity. And when I say these learning factors, okay, I actually am taking into three phases, okay? Three phases of business continuity implementation for success. The planning and the initiation phase, the implementation phase, and the reinforcement phase. So in all these different phases, I am looking at what it takes to succeed in terms of the people, process, and technology aspect for implementing and this implementing the right business approach for success of BCM. Okay, these phases, they classify the journey, BCM journey, and deep dives into important concepts, okay, and technicalities. Now, these technicalities and concepts are concerning the cost of planning versus cost of failure. Understand the difference between what it will take for, if you do not plan, what is my downside in a crisis time? Okay, then I am talking about the importance of resource requirement and its resource management. And I'm talking about all kinds of resources, animate, inanimate resources, which are used for during crisis, including partnerships, strategies, everything. Then I am talking about the technical concepts of business impact analysis, risk assessment, crisis management, emergency response, and emergency early warning systems. Okay, competency building. These are backed by their respective standards. Okay, by the 31,000, 27,000, 22316, 22361, 22301. So everything. So basically, what I'm trying to get that is that I am. The gist is that for a successful business continuity, I should have certain key parameters in place, duly timely tested. One is the communication, the other is the importance of test and exercising, which will give the confidence to all the internal and external stakeholders in terms of their ability to respond to a crisis. And this crisis could be of different nature, different type. And lastly, the importance of procedure for ongoing. This is my in the reinforcement phase, which where I'm saying again, it reflects to in the first chapter that procedure on an ongoing basis for management oversight of the BCM program. So it is linked to my earlier chapter, but at the same point of time, there are certain factors which organization must take into account if it wants to succeed. So it's basically I'm laying down the blueprint for an organization's BCM journey.
Are there any things that, building on what you said in the beginning and what you've said now as best practices, are there any things that we should really be focused on more than others? Or how's another? Are there practices that we say are good, but if we don't do right, can really mess things up? Like
You see,
key area we really should focus on.
okay, one of the key areas where I have always seen that the companies are failing is the importance and relevance of the organization culture.
Mm.
Okay, when you are doing and implementing such an initiative, okay, you will always have people who do it willingly and people who do it as a part of their job. And it is such people who, the people who are doing it willingly, fantastic, they will contribute. But when there is a issue of either a will issue or a skill issue, you understand the will issue and the skill issue is all about will is about willing to do or not willing to do. And skill is about the aspect of ability to respond and revert based on my training, because this is based on my what I have been through on the job trainings or external training or being mentored onto for a certain responsibility during a crisis. So when it comes to culture and when it comes to will issue, skill issue, These are important aspects which should act as a key and guidance to the senior management in terms of what it takes for a journey of for the organization for being mature from scratch to fully matured in BCM. When I say scratch, that means you have introduced a new concept at the grassroots level. And when I say matured, I'm saying all staff, all members of the company, all staff, employees of the company know exactly that what is to be done if an a type of an incident happens. So that means normally in business continuity parlance, this is a 7-year journey. Okay. I have seen that this 7-year journey can be elongated by the internal and external issues. Okay. Especially for organizations which have done a lot of outsourcing, which use lot of technology, which use lot of partners and strategic alliances. In such cases, the journey is longer because of the multiple handshakes and organizations being in a different on different levels in terms of maturity on the BCM life cycle. This is typically true for now it is being realized that your supply chain resiliency and risk management and the business country and crisis management, they have to be linked, seen from the similar from the same lens of control and during crisis and response to a crisis. Why? Because they are all interlinked, and that is the reason why there are so many factors that need to be considered when today crisis management, risk management, business continuity, organization resilience, IT disaster recovery, these terms are being used interchangeably by different people at different hierarchy levels in the organization. And that is the reason why for a success of business continuity or crisis management, you need to have a important aspect that what constitutes a crisis. That means 1 hour outage of system, 30-minute outage of your system, or 3-day outage of system. What is a crisis and when should you press the panic button? So understanding in terms of the same direction of crisis on the milestones which need to be overcome during crisis and outage and emergency and disruption, they have to be commonly understood across the company to be able to come out successful from during outage and emergency.
And on that note, we've come to the end of our first segment. We are talking with one of the authors of Business Continuity Management, Significant Insights from Practice, Kush Srivastava, and we will be right back. If you like that video, thumbs up. If you didn't like that video, thumbs down. But leave me a message and let me know your thoughts. Of course, don't forget to subscribe. And in the meantime, stay prepared, everybody.